Hi, I'm Tiffany Oshinsky, and this is Serving Pancakes with League One Volleyball. The inaugural Love season is just around the corner, so we're talking with some of the amazing people in the league to introduce you to the players on the court and coaches and others involved off the court. Today's episode features an opposite hitter who came all the way from Germany to play for LOVB Omaha, Kimberly Drewniok. Kimberly was born in Bavay, Germany, and is a two-time German Cup MVP, German Super Cup MVP, and was a member of the German LOVB Volleyball Nations League team. Along with her native Germany, Kimberly has also played professionally in Italy, France, Türkiye, and Serbia. And now she's bringing her talents to Nebraska. Kimberly, welcome to Serving Pancakes. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to have the chat with you.
I'm so excited to have a chat with you. You're our first international player that we've had on the podcast. So I'm really excited because this is a whole new experience, I feel like, for you compared to the other girls who, have been playing internationally this whole time and finally get to play in the States. So for you, what's it been like so far here in the United States?
So far, it's been good. I really like it. It's a different culture for sure. I've been here in Lincoln 2019 already once with the national team. But it was just a week and we didn't experience so much from the culture. So now being here in Omaha and being present and interacting with the Americans here, it's really interesting. And I heard already some funny incidents, but I like it. I really do.
What type of funny incidents?
For instance, little things when we drive, it's different here because the light in Europe is on our side. So here it's on the other side of the intersection. So this is something I have to get used to because, if I stop here at the light, it's not going to end well. Definitely not. And then I had my first experience in Casco. We don't have something like this. This is not normal for me. I came with my little bag prepared because I thought we're going to buy in a normal grocery shop. And I could fit my lemons and my avocado in it afterwards, but I don't have this proportion. We don't have the proportions that I have here in this shop. So that was kind of funny. And little things like drive-through everything. I mean, we have drive-through to McDonald's in Europe, but that's it. But now here you don't even have to leave the car if you don't want to. So that's kind of funny. Yeah.
We do like our drive-throughs. I will say in the wintertime, because I live in New Jersey and I've lived in the Northeast my whole life, drive-throughs are so clutch.
Yeah, I can imagine. Also here it's starting to get cold now. So I think this is something that I will easily adapt to.
So what's been the biggest difference so far between playing overseas and playing here in the US?
So far, I would say we have a different schedule for sure that we practice. Usually I'm used to practicing fitness and technical in the mornings, have the lunch break and then start again. So this is one of the changes that we have everything from 9 to noon and then we are off. So I actually have a life after volleyball, which is kind of nice. And being able to do something off the court. I really like it. It's just little things every coach has a different philosophy, how they coach, how they structure the practices. So this is something new that I will adapt here now. I love to be in a team where I have so many strong characters, and this is something where I really look forward to when the opportunity came that I could play here in America, because so far I played 9 years for the national team of Germany, and so every time we played against the Americans, it was always something special for me, because on the other side I could always see the strong characters that are really driven and had this presence on the court that I really admired. So being here now in the States and seeing where it all comes from, it's something really exciting for me, especially with LOVB, a league that interacts with youth players, and seeing really where the roots are is something really nice to see.
There's so many things that I want to talk to you about from this answer. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to approach this. So let's start with the characters on the team, because two of the players on LOVB Omaha are Justine Wong-Orantes and Jordan Larson, who are royalty in Nebraska, basically, especially Jordan. She's known as the governor. So what's it like playing with them and just seeing the reception of them in Nebraska?
Yes, this is awesome. This is also something different here. How highly they see their college teams and support them is something I couldn't even imagine in the form that it is. I remember a couple of weeks ago, I went to the first game of Nebraska volleyball, and it was just, they were playing against a low-level team in their division. I was just learning about all of this, but the gym was packed, and there were just supporting from the beginning. So it was pretty cool. To come back to your questions about Jordan, yeah, and Justine. So Jordan, for me, of course, it's just such an amazing opportunity to play with somebody who already had it all, and to see her approach and practice and how her mindset is, and like her work ethic is something that I really love to see and to learn from. And also with Justine, I mean, I already had the chance to play with her in Germany, actually. We already played one season together. So I was
Oh, that's
really
amazing.
excited to come here, yes, and play with her. And just always so impressed of how she approached practice and how she actually like performs on the court is something really nice. And to be able to play with them on the court and not just against each other on national team level, it's something nice.
Who are some of the other characters on the team?
For me, I mean, I'm really happy I have my German buddy, Ani Caesar, with me. We played for the national team together, and I know her for quite some years. And so it's nice to be in a club season together and enjoy the sport that we love. And then also, for instance, Laura Dijkema, I always played against her, and I'm really looking forward to play with her, our setter. And there are different characters that I already saw, but now I have the opportunity to get to know them and see how they are as persons.
Yeah, so Anna Caesar, because you played with her on the German national team, how long have you known her? Does the friendship go back a while?
Actually, she joined the national team last year, and last year
Okay.
was kind of my last year. I quit national team. I closed this chapters. We basically passed each other, but then I came back because of injuries that the German team faced, and I wanted to support them to help them to qualify for Olympics. So I come back, and then we interact. But the volleyball world is small, and especially in Germany, you know each other. And I played with her best friend, Pia Kestner, for many years, so I knew who Annie was for a long time.
Oh, that's awesome. And then going to the coaching philosophy, you were talking about how different coaches have different philosophies. What's it like with Coach Susie Fritz?
So I never had a female coach before.
Oh,
And so this is something really interesting to me. And I can already see the differences because the way how she approaches us, how she talks to us, it's already, you can see the differences. And I really like, she's really mindful and paying attention to how she's saying things. And so I'm interested how it will be when we start our games and how it is like seeing her as a leader and like taking our team through the league to the season. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, I like it. Like we said, like I feel like we have always an open space to say something, to give feedback. She's really receptive for that, and these are like great character traits.
I love that. Now going back to the Nebraska football game that you got to go to. So I saw that you got to go on the field, didn't you?
Yes, it was amazing.
And it was Nebraska, Wisconsin, which I know you're from Germany.
Yeah.
I don't know if you come to understand college football in America, but college football is insane. And Nebraska, Wisconsin is a huge rivalry. So what was that experience like for you coming from, Europe where football wasn't really that big of a thing, and then like being in that atmosphere? Because I know the volleyball atmosphere, like you said, is crazy, but for this new sport, like just experiencing it, what was that like?
It was amazing. I just love how I heard that also Nebraska fans are special, right? And I can see that. Like every time it got proven, it doesn't matter if I go to a college team right here in Omaha or going to Lincoln. Like they're always fans and so sincere and so joyful. It's really nice to see. And yeah, being in the football stadium, it's been full, and it was crazy to me because I thought like, okay, I heard it's gonna be full, but maybe we can like look for a few seats a little bit lower, like to see. But no chance. Like it was like packed, and seeing like the student area where they're all just cheering and like having so much fun. It's just great, and it's another sign that sport can bring people together in different levels and dimensions. So it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Besides soccer, are there any other sports in Germany that have this type of big reception like Nebraska has for volleyball and football?
I would say maybe handball
Oh.
is pretty big in certain cities, and basketball, but I don't know if they ever fill 90,000 as like a college football team. I doubt that. I would need to research that, but I doubt that they ever. Besides, like you said, soccer, I don't think that we hit the numbers quite yet.
Speaking of 90,000, you know that Nebraska played a volleyball match in that stadium, right?
Yes, I get goosebumps. Yeah, just thinking about it, I get goosebumps. I really, yeah, when we were there and I was like, oh, and this is the spot, this is a place where they wrote history and had this world record, right? It's just great to see that and to be like on the court and imagine. I can't wait for me already to have the first home match here in Omaha, like seeing all of that and knowing that the college league's ending and so that fans need to have a new team to support. I can't wait for them to come to love Omaha.
For sure. That's going to be so exciting. Now, I want to go back. I want to talk kind of like your origin story and growing up in Germany. Let's talk about Balve first. What's the town like? What would you say is kind of like a typical path for people who are, growing up there to kind of pursue when you're living in the town? Because it's kind of small, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. Great question. I ask myself this many times, like, what would I be? Where would I be if I wouldn't be here for volleyball? And yeah, Balve is a small city. I grew up with only my mom, and we had many animals. We had ponies, horses, dogs, cats, chickens, goats for a time. Like I was a farm girl all 101
Wow.
and I loved it. I was just in nature after kindergarten, after school. We would always go out in nature and spend time there together with the animals. And a normal path would be probably to end school, to work in a job there locally, and yeah, maybe go to Turkey for vacation during the summertime, but then come back. Like many people stay there or come back after they studied and are close to family. So I'm really grateful for the way that I grew up and had this bubble and this like environment to be creative, to have space to see yeah, different paths, but also so grateful for volleyball to give me the possibility to actually explore the world, to discover different cultures, to connect with people all over the world. And yeah, I'm beyond grateful for this opportunity that volleyball brought me.
So, how did volleyball come into your life? How did you find the love of the sport?
It was through a friend of mine. She played volleyball and she asked me once if I just want to join a practice of hers. And I was like, of course, sure, why not? I always loved to explore different sports. Even though I was riding the horses, I was also doing karate and I swim for a time and did some things outside of just this one pass. So when she asked me, I said, of course, I will join. And I fell in love with the sport right away. Like because even though I loved the way that I grew up, there was always a little part of me as a child who missed the sense of belonging because, yeah, as I said, I grew up in a small village. I'm half German, but also half African. And so I always looked different than everybody else because of my hair, my freckles, my height. I was already tall. And so there was this part in me as a child that didn't want to stood out. I just wanted to be like everybody else, and there was nobody like looking like me. And so it was sometimes a little bit hard for me to see where I fit in. And so when I joined the volleyball club at age 9, I had this first time this feeling of belonging because it didn't matter in the gym how we look like or where we come from. We had all the same goal. The ball can't drop on our side and we want to get it over the net. And so I really loved that. And I felt like volleyball gave me the space of like truly discovering who I am and eventually realizing I don't have to be somehow or fit in any boxes. I can just be me. So I'm really grateful for the chance and the space that volleyball gave me. So yeah, that's why I fell in love in the first place with volleyball and the community behind it. I feel like I'm growing up with only my mom and my animals. Volleyball gave me like an extended family that I'm really grateful for. I'm still going back to my hometown club every summer and practicing with them or like doing something with their youth.
I love that. How does the volleyball world work in Germany? Like, here in the States, it's like you have youth clubs, you play in high school, you try to get the college scholarship, and then if you want to continue playing and can continue playing, you'll go pro. But how does it work in Germany? Are there youth clubs like there are in the States? High school,
Yes.
well, secondary school teams, stuff like that. Like, how does it work? How do you eventually like continue to succeed and get better and better?
If we don't have like the college system as you have here, so we right away start with club volleyball. So when I was 9, I joined my hometown club, and then eventually I would join the youth national team. I was always late. I got selected later on. But then I joined the youth national team, and then the coach came to me and asked me if I want to go to the boarding school, sports boarding school in Berlin, which was like 5.5 hours away from where I grew up. Because there they had this youth program, for instance, where we were competing in the first league, like right away in the professional league, but out of competition. It was really like the youth national team kind of who would competing and gaining experience. So this was a little bit my path. And then I graduated school and I went right away into a professional club. So this is something, at one hand, I admire the program here that you have like the college teams and you can graduate high school and college and have the sports at the secondary, but also such a high level still. And then the only thing that was missing here that we have is that you have the professional league right after, right? So now having love trying to do that for these athletes so they are not forced to leave overseas but can like build their career also here is something really amazing.
How did playing for the German national team come about?
So when I was playing in this youth program that I mentioned earlier, I think it was my second year that I played there. And you have to imagine, I was playing my youth hometown club 3 times a week. Then I went to boarding school and I was practicing every day, twice. So it was a big change. Yes, it was a really big change, but I loved it. I went there. To be honest, I didn't even think about playing professional because I had no idea this professional word exists, even though it was present. But as I mentioned earlier, like when I wasn't in the gym, I was in the nature with my horses and the animals. I had no idea this word exists. So when I came there, I started to get to know like what you can do with volleyball and what you can achieve. And I will never forget the moment when I was driving in a tram, like a train in Berlin, and I got a call from my coach, and he said like, "Kimmy, are you sitting?" I was like, "No." He said, "Yeah, maybe you want to sit because you just got invited to the German women national team." And this was a huge thing for me because it was just 1 year out of like my hometown, and it was a big step for me to leave my home because it was hard for me at the beginning because I really loved how I grew up and like my environment there. But I'm really happy that I had the courage back then because I always had this mindset like, okay, I will try. And if it doesn't work out, I can always come back. What's the worst case scenario? I go to the life back that I loved, but I really want to see what this path can bring. And so, yeah, this was my first steps in the German national team. And then I played for the German national team almost 10 years.
Since it was just you and your mom and the animals at the time, what was your mom thinking when you went off on this path?
Yeah, it was hard for her. It was really hard for her. But I'm so grateful for her because she never really showed it to me. She was always so supportive and like in any way. Just the other week, we have this beautiful tradition here, or routine here in LOVB Omaha. There you can see also that like Susie's philosophy is a little bit different. So we have like 2 days per week where one player is sharing something about their lives and what matters to them. And Justine Wrong asked us the question, like, who is the most influential person in your career? And I answered, it's my mom, because at the end of the day, she always supported me in all ways. She was driving me to practices. She didn't miss one tournament, one game, like nothing. She was always by my side. And so I think she's a big part, like why I had the courage also to leave, because I knew there's always this one person that has my back no matter what. And so, yeah, big shout out to my mom, but also like in this moment, now that I'm older, I realize like how hard it must have been for her because that was her center of her life, basically. I mean, she raised me on her own with all the struggles that come with it. And then I left, and now volleyball have brought me all over the world. Like I played, like you said at the beginning, in Italy, France, Turkey, Serbia with national team the whole summer. We would travel. So yeah, she's always really grateful for every time that we can spend, but I never feel like she's like holding me back in any way. She's always supporting.
Your mom's a superhero for this.
Yes.
Did she get to visit you in all the different countries that you've played?
most of them, but unfortunately she's afraid of flying. So Turkey, she didn't come, and now the States is gonna be a little far for her one for a couple hours. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it, but because I know she would love all of that. But yeah, she grew up also in the small village, and she went the path that you asked before, like many of them take. She didn't really leave too much this area, just occasionally, but not so much Germany.
Got it. Hopefully she can make it out. Hopefully.
Yes, I hope so.
Now, out of all the countries that you've played in, do you have any fond memories of one in particular, one that you kind of like more than the other, or is everything kind of just, has been a great experience?
It's always hard to answer this question because many also young athletes ask me that. I feel like every year, every season that I played, I learned something new for my life, and I just love to be in different cultures and see how they approach life and their way of thinking. So I would say that every time, seriously, every time when I had a new season, there was something that I could take for my life afterwards. Um, and then I just love, like in Italy, I mean, they're so open, and like I love the culture of their food is amazing. And then, for instance, Turkey, they're really warm and welcoming, and I really love to see that. And then volleyball wise, it's just like playing in leagues like Turkey and Italy is something really nice because every game is on such a high level, and it helps you a lot to improve as an athlete as well. So yeah, definitely. But also Serbia had something to it, like seeing more the youth development there was something really nice. I just explore, and now I'm here, and I'm excited to see what I already learned so much, but also seeing like what it comes, where it comes.
Yeah, there's also, I mean, there's a lot of international players who are going to be playing in League One. So I feel, not just the women who are from the States playing in the States for the first time, but you guys get to experience what it's like in the States too. Actually, one of the League One players, Anna Pogani, is also from Germany, and you played with her on the German national team, correct?
Yes, but there I played like almost the whole 9 years that I've been there.
Did you guys kind
Yeah.
of talk about coming to the States together, or was it something that you just both ended up deciding to do on your own and are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be playing for this league too?
Yeah, it's the latter. So we both like ended up individually for that because at the beginning when I signed with Love, I didn't really communicate it with anybody. So I think that was something that all of us like had to do at the beginning because there was like this thing of like showing like who will be at the part of that. So I was like, okay, I don't share it, and I'm just because I love like the marketing and all of this, how they are building up this tension, and I just think it's something really cool. So yeah, I didn't really talk about that, but then when I saw it, it was nice to see that there's another German.
Are you excited to be playing against them?
Yes, yes. It's always fun to play against friends. I love that. It's always, it doesn't matter if it's German or other friends that I have. I love that. Little teasing under the net.
By the way, your English is phenomenal. When did you learn English?
Thank you. And we have it in school in Germany.
Okay.
But to be honest, I didn't really like speak when I was in school. It more so came with playing professional and like playing in teams where I also foreigners. And I love to connect with people. So I wanted to learn English so I can connect with most of them on a deeper level. So I actually started speaking when I played more professional.
That's very cool. Do you speak other languages too?
Yes, a little bit of French and Italian. Like every time when I went to a league and I was there a little longer, I tried to learn the language so I understand a little bit, like locker room talks and some practices when their languages. So yeah, I try to learn wherever I go a little bit.
Now, because of volleyball, you've had the opportunity to kind of grow as a person and as a player. You kind of talked about how important the sport was for you, growing up and learning who you are as a person. But when you decide to finally hang up your knee pads, do you see yourself continuing in this sport and trying to give back to the youth, or do you think that you're going to try to do something else in life? What's your thoughts on with what volleyball gave you, passing it on to the next generation?
This is actually my vision, like my vision. And so when last year when I was thinking, okay, where do I want to play in the next year? I was actually more tended to go and play somewhere in Asia. But then I got contacted from Love and I heard the presentation and the mission and the vision behind it. And there was no doubt that I had to say yes, because the vision that they have for the youth programs and seeing us as like humans, not just players, is exactly what I learned over the last years that I want to pass on to the next generation as well. And knowing that I'm playing for a league who has the same visions as I have is something really incredible. So, yeah, really, for me personally, it's really important to give back to the volleyball community, because volleyball have brought so much into my life, as you learned now. And like for me, like giving it back to maybe just one child out there, providing access through like the nonprofit organization that I joined 2 years ago, or just here, like being connected to youth and maybe giving them this one advice that change something in their life, is just something that I really love to do. And so my vision is also to do this next to sport. And if I decide to stop playing actively, I think volleyball will have me forever in some way. I really love to maybe do camps and to, yeah, provide something, not just the volleyball tools, but also the tools that have volleyball taught me for my life, that I can use afterwards. So I really like love to do something more and active in the community also after volleyball, when I have even more time for that.
You talked about how Love kind of pitched you to come to the United States and be part of this, but I know the season officially hasn't started yet and you're still kind of in preseason, but how are we doing so far?
I love it. They definitely do things different than other leagues. I mean, we already had so many community activities and engagements, and I really loved all of them. It's just, yeah, connecting with youth players on all different levels, like being here, also be youth players that I have like come maybe of underprivileged areas, and just interacting with them, being present and spreading the joy of volleyball. It always shows me that you don't need much, and sport is so powerful and can connect people without language, even though, okay, we can communicate here, but still, like, there's something more powerful behind it. And through love and the activities that they do and make us do is something that is really nice, and I'm looking forward to more of that.
One of the things I love about this podcast is that I get to know you ladies, not just as players, but as people as well. So I want to ask you a few questions that are kind of more off the court to get to know you a little bit better. I know that you said you love animals because you grew up with animals, but here in the States now, you also have your schedule from 9 to 12 and you can have a life after. So what's Kimberly's life off the court? What do you like to do when you're not playing volleyball?
Right now, I love to work on like certain projects that I have that I would love to develop during the summertime. As I mentioned before, I joined like a global volleyball foundation, Let's Keep the Ball Flying, 2 years ago. And during the summertime, we traveled. I had already 2 destinations that we traveled at. The first year I went to Bali with a smaller group, and then last year, like this past summer, we went to the Philippines with a big group. And
Wow.
we just bringing volleyball to underprivileged areas, bringing access to it. Like it comes from to gear to knowledge, just spending time together. So this is something that I would love to prepare myself already for. And next summer we have the destination Africa. I'm really excited for that, because then I will have the opportunity to also go back to my roots, because I haven't been in Africa so far, even though half of my family is African. Um, so this is something I'm really looking forward to, and I want to give back. So I'm trying to work on something, how I maybe can make this possible with help of that organization, but also like maybe through my own income and like seeing what I can provide there. So I'm working on these things, mostly in a coffee shop, having my matcha, and just yeah, trying to build this concept and finding right partners. Here in Omaha in America, but also overseas, that maybe have a similar vision to support this mission. And I love to listen to different podcasts to always work on my mindset. And because I just learned over the years how important it is as high as you play to have like a great mental toolkit of tools that help you to overcome certain hurdles so that you can always perform on your best. So I love to do this in my free time as well, and then just spend time with friends and FaceTime my home, my little sister, and being having my me time sometimes too. So balance it all of that.
Both you and your mom are super women. My goodness.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of your little sister, tell me about her. How old is she? Does she play volleyball?
She does not. She's 11 now. She's more in like singing and dancing and meeting friends period right now. But I love that. I don't think that she has to play like volleyball as I did. I was the first in my family, and so she's more so connected also with animals. She has 2 dogs, so she's growing up with we share the same father but not the same mother. So she's my half sister. Um, but she's gorgeous. I just love her so much, and I'm so grateful to have her in my life. And I love spending time with her because then you have a different perspective. Like things that maybe like bug you because of practice or anything just like vanish when you're spending time with the younger ones. I feel like every time when I have like a summer vacation with her, since 4 years, I try to at least take her for one sister vacation for a week somewhere.
Aw.
And every time it's just nice to see her grow into this great woman, and especially in this age, like seeing the different character traits that come out slowly, it's like really nice to see that.
Well, now that you're here in Nebraska, what are some things you're looking forward to do? Are there any foods or anything like that that you really want to try?
I did try already the cauliflower crust pizza. I must say that's pretty good. We don't have that in Europe, so this is something I already discovered. But in general, I'm looking forward to like the culture here. As I say, like I know that Nebraska fans are different. There's a slogan, right? Like uh, there's no place like Nebraska. I heard
Mhm.
about that. So I'm curious to see how this will be when we play and having like our own home crowd. I'm really looking forward to that and looking forward to starting the games and yeah, going with the fans against the teams here and just competing on such a high level.
Another thing I wanted to talk to you that you didn't mention as like something you do on the side, but you like to model, correct?
Yes, I do. Sometimes I like to do. Oh God, yes, I like to do that too.
I mean, you're gorgeous, right? You
Thank
have
you.
an awesome, unique, gorgeous look. So I feel like the modeling makes total sense for you. But how important is modeling? Like, what made you want to do it, and why do you like to do it?
I mean, it was just a fun way for me to express myself, like off the court in different like ways, not just in like our sports gear, right? Because most of the times you're gonna wear our sweaters and hoodies, right? And that's spandex. So having like the space to wear something different and like going in different roles was something really nice. And it was at the beginning more so a challenge for me because when I was younger, I was a little shy and I was not so happy with my appearance, as I said earlier, because I always wanted to look like everybody else. But now, knowing that I want to embrace how I am and that how I look, model gave me this opportunity to go out of my comfort zone and feel comfortable with the way I am and the way I look. So it was more this little challenge part and then accepting me. But I love to do it. Like I'm not like actively like looking for that, but whenever here in Omaha somebody is there who likes to do photos, feel free to reach out. I have time in the afternoons. Yeah, so it's more like a hobby, a fun hobby. If the opportunity comes, I like to take it. I tried it though during the summer. I did works with some agencies, but then every time when an offer come in, it was like a practice or a term, and I was like, okay, sorry, I can't do it. So maybe after my career, this is something that I can pursue a little bit more serious. Let's see. My father did it.
Oh, wow.
He was a model as well, and like. So maybe it came also from there a little bit, this influence.
Oh, that's amazing. Does he live in Germany too?
Yes, he grew up in Germany. He came to Germany when he was 9 years old. And so most of my African family actually lives in Germany as well.
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, I'm really close to them now. I really love all of them. I just yesterday found a video of like a recap of my phone, and it's just like, yeah, we have a great family, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So yeah, he lives in Germany. We reconnected a couple of years ago. He was not really present when I grew up, but now he's more part of my life, and I'm happy for that as well. Because yeah, it's interesting, there are certain connections and like similarities that definitely prove that genetic is real. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it gets us.
Oh, that's so great. Very happy for you that you have been able to reconnect and have a great relationship now. We're going to end the interview on one last question, which I like to ask everybody when we're doing this podcast. And with this being the inaugural season of Love, what are you hoping to showcase when you play? What are you hoping the league showcases? What are you hoping that people see when they watch Love?
I'm just so excited to be part of Love. I think they're creating something so meaningful because they don't just see us as players and performers, but the human beings that we are. And as I said, like joining Love and knowing that I'm playing for a league that has similar visions and missions as I have individually is something so powerful. And I know sport has such a great impact on people's life, and especially for women, having the possibility to combine who they are off the court, but also like pursuing a family life and going for something greater, but also still being able to play their sport as Love is a pioneer right now is something really precious. And I'm so happy to be a part of that. And I can't wait to see them succeed because I really believe in this mission. And I think that being the pioneer of that, other leagues will have to follow at one point. So I'm really excited to be here with Love and writing history.
I love that so much. Well, Kimberly, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much, and best of luck this season.
Thank you, Tiffany, for having me.
Thanks for watching Serving Pancakes. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. You can also listen to the podcast version on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.